Places, please. Places for the top of Theater Countdown.
Hello! Welcome to Theater Countdown with an RE because we are classy dames over here. I am Michael Judson Berry, known as Juddy, over here with my Broadway buddy Ben Cameron.
Hey,
Hello. And real quick shout out, follow us on the socials if you haven't already. Theater Countdown with an RE, except for on Twitter, because we're Theater Count, because as we say on X, nobody got time. And today we are continuing our countdown of musicals that we would love to see as movies. We also have a very special guest today.
We sure do.
Joseph Ellis, who
is
trust
everywhere.
Me, you have seen this human. We all love this human. He talk about a person who wears a lot of hats or wigs, if you're in my world. Yeah. I'm just thrilled to continue on with this because this was tough. As we discussed last time, so many musicals that we love have already been made into movies.
And I want to go back to this point because it's been haunting me a little bit.
Yes.
It's, in particular, the Golden Age musicals.
Yes.
All of the Golden Age musicals of note that most of us have even heard of have been made into films.
Yeah.
I
Kiss
mean,
Me Kate,
overwhelmingly.
Kiss Met.
Yes.
Zorba
is a film.
Yeah. And Dorothy Loudon was in none of them. Carol
Not
Burnett
one.
took all of those roles.
Gosh darn it. So there's not as much room to play as one might think. So we're really pushing the envelope and broadening all of our horizons with our list.
Because I think we decided that we can't do ones that was made into a movie that we feel like it needs a new movie, like Mame or something like that, where it's like there's a movie musical, but like does it deserve better? But that's another list for another day.
Yeah. I don't see any reason to not get. We have a lot of personality walking in the door here in 2 seconds. So let's put on our welcome pants.
Our Sunday clothes. And let's zippity-doo-dah-day over.
Oh my gosh, I was feeling down and out. Let's go have my picture took, which I'm literally going to do in about 25 minutes. Let's go have my picture took.
So exciting.
I'll just tell everybody real quick. I'm hosting this series in New York that plays camp movie classics on Wednesdays at this fabulous dine-in movie theater, and we're watching Mommy Dearest in a couple weeks, and doing the Grease sing-along and Showgirls, and I'm doing shtick and hilarity. So if you like really over-the-top campy movies and you happen to be in New York on a Wednesday, come see me. That doesn't matter. What we were saying is put on your welcome pants, zippity-doo-dah, come on in. It's Tyler Joseph Ellis.
Benjamin.
Yes, Michael.
I just became French for the brief moment that I said your name.
Do you know, that is the correct pronunciation. I'm just going to tell you very quickly that I know that that's the correct French pronunciation because Celine Dion, in her very early career, recorded a French song called Benjamin, and I have heard it, and I'm a Celine gay from way back, and the whole song, she just sings my name exactly the way you said it. So I feel put at ease. Thank you.
Wow, Benjamin. I am so excited because we have a fabulous guest today.
The most fabulous guest.
The most fabulous guest. I have to say, I am very excited because I've been a big fan of this human for quite some time. Fabulous actor, writer, singer, also amazing social media personality with hilarious content. It is none other than the absolutely wonderful Tyler Joseph Ellis. Thank you so much for being here with us.
I think you nailed that, Michael, personally.
Did I really? Okay.
That was great. That was lovely. I feel good. I feel warm and fuzzy inside.
Good.
So thank you. Yeah.
You've done it.
You've got me all primed. You can do anything you want to me now.
Oh my.
Do you know what?
Listen,
Michael, you've done it to both of us so quickly.
What made you feel warm and fuzzy?
Yeah,
that might be a medical condition.
As an introductor.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, well, I'm nervous because you both are much more experienced at interviewing people. Tyler, I mean, I feel like you're on every Broadway red carpet rehearsal room somewhere interviewing people, and you're very, very good at it, I have to say.
Thank you so much for saying that. Thank you.
I think the truth is, if people don't know you and follow you, then they're living under a rock or like in the core of the earth. I feel like you have carved such a wonderful path for yourself, Tyler, that has blossomed into all these things that I don't even know if you could have imagined it would have been.
Yeah,
when
not
you
at all.
first stuck a camera in your face and buffooned.
And buffooned. To buffoon, my favorite verb. Yeah, no, you're completely right. I consistently think back to just a older, rather younger version of myself that just decided to do it. Just make silly videos on the internet to appeal to the theater kids that were, struggling in the pandemic. And then now it's turned into a strange career. It's just so bonkers. And I'm just grateful for my old self. I just can't believe I had any desire to make anything during that time. I look back and I'm like, how did I think I needed it. I needed it to, stay afloat, but I could have just as easily found something else, something perhaps more destructive. So I'm just glad that I didn't,
Found knitting or black tar heroin, but instead you created amazing content because you graduated from college in 2020, correct?
That's correct, yes.
From school, you went to USC?
I went to USC, the University of Southern California.
Mm-hmm. And you studied theater.
Theater and minored in marketing.
And then the world shut down.
Oh, yeah.
So is that like you just found yourself and you were like, I just spent all this time studying and now I just need to create? Or like...
Yeah, that's sort of, I was really on the path. I was getting my equity card in my final semester, doing a show outside of school. I was doing Passion, Stephen Sondheim's Passion.
Laugh Riot.
Yeah,
Laugh
it's so
Riot.
funny. It's funny. It's a farce.
Yeah.
And
It
so I was
is.
doing, and
My version
so I was. My version
I did a
was
3-person Passion. It's a long
terrifying,
story.
terrifying.
Probably yours
stuff
was
that you
much
just
better.
said. I
So-
was very proud of the production. It was very. I wasn't Georgia. I was Count
Fosca.
Ludovic of Austria and
Fosca.
Augenti. I was Fosca. Yeah, Fosca. But I was doing that, and we were 2 previews in, and then everything shut down. And then I was supposed to, on the night of my graduation, open another show in LA. I was going to do a little night music, so I was like on this path to do like LA Sondheim theater, and it just sort of that didn't happen for me. But to just sort of answer your question, I really went through my entirety of college considering myself an interpretive artist. I was like, I'm an actor, I interpret other people's words. I occasionally directed things, but again, you're directing other people's words. I never considered myself a writer by any means. I just liked making people laugh and doing bits. And then I really just honed another sort of skill, knowing how to write for myself, knowing, how to write things in a really limiting minute timeline, that kind of thing. And then now writing is one of the things I'm most passionate about, and writing more long form stuff. So yeah, I think during that time I couldn't interpret anyone else's stuff because nothing was happening. So the creative instinct sort of kicked in, but it took me till after graduating college. So I always tell people in college currently, if you feel that you really start learning after college, at least in my opinion.
It's all so when I first started seeing your stuff, what's wild about it and made me chuckle and feel so seen and exposed from the get-go, it's all so specific. Like, it's so to the heart of the theater kid experience. I from the people sitting in the audience who are watching the other shows and judging and it's just every one of us has been in that mind space. And how do you know which parts of the experience to try to capitalize on or exploit or imagine?
Well, first, thank you. That's my only goal. I think for me, because I'm a theater kid,
right.
And I think with me, it's my North Star has always been, and I always tell people that want to go into making content, especially comedic content, I'm like, make stuff that you think is funny, and if it doesn't do well, you can still be proud of it. It's when you start pandering and sort of sacrificing your own artistic merit for views, that's when you lose the magic. So for me, that's always been it. And sometimes that thing also coincides with views, but sometimes it doesn't, and that's fine. But I can always scroll through my own stuff and laugh. My goal is to make myself laugh, and with the specificity, like you were mentioning, for me, it's like it's something I want to explore things that I haven't seen before, made fun of. Like the cell phone pre-show announcements was a huge series that I did for a long time because I realized that it was really becoming a trend to do in theme, in character, cell phone pre-show announcements for videos. And I was like, oh, that's sort of a never-ending well of content because you could just do them show to show. So I was like, oh, that was an idea of like a series-related thing kind of meeting an idea. But that doesn't always happen. I think like doing whenever I think of an idea or I see so much theater too. So I'm constantly, faced with, the cliches of this experience. And that's the best when I see something that I'm like, oh my god, that is a perfect thing to make fun of, or poke fun at or shed light on. I just the best thing, like for example, one of my best ideas in my opinion was doing an actor talk back, like what you're watching an actor talk back, and the minutia of that experience and how we all fall into the same sort of pattern of speaking when we're in a talk back, and sort of exploring that was, I was like, oh my god, I've never seen that done before, and I feel like a good person because I've been the actor and also been the audience member rolling my eyes. So, it's that. I just constantly like excavating this really niche experience and then figuring out that so many other people have experienced the same thing. Yeah, it's bonkers.
Yeah, and it kind of lampoons real. Well, not kind of. It absolutely lampoons the fact that we as theater nerds are just monstrous in so many ways. We're just of a really horrifying ilk.
Horrifying. Because we're both so sensitive and also so judgmental. It's
right.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's
always
a fun
at a
thing
10. Like,
always at a 10.
At a 10.
Yeah, exactly. Like, truly insecure, but also the first to sort of throw a mean comment. It's an interesting life.
We're a fascinating bunch. Yeah.
What has been, kind of talking about the things that have branched off from the social media of it all, what has been kind of the most exciting elements of that? Like we were saying, the red carpets and being a correspondent and kind of always being on the front line now of any theater events, period. What has kind of evolved? You talk about writing for longer form now.
Yeah. There's so many things. That's such a good question. Obviously, the interviewing was a really fun sort of risk that I knew I always wanted to be a Susan Blackwell figure, like, and having my own side-by-side by Susan Blackwell sort of really casual interview style of Broadway stars. That was always the dream. She's a hero of mine. So when I was, faced with the opportunity it was the first one. My friend Dylan Mulvaney was doing her Day 365, and the publication Theaterly was like, hey, you know her. Do you want to, like, just interview her on the carpet? It'll be so much more fun if it's you. And I'm like, for sure. And then I never stopped. I just kept doing it. And it was so much fun. And the best, most rewarding part of doing it is when a hero of mine knows who I am. Like, they approach me on the carpet and they're like, and one, makes the interview so much fun, and two, just makes me blush and feel cuckoo bananas. Like, the fact that Rachel Dratch knows who I am is so crazy. I'm like, how? So that was great. And then also, what I was really hoping moving to New York and doing this content thing, and some people were nervous that this wouldn't be the case, but it worked out, is that people trust me as an actor and a performer still. I was a little nervous as I kept doing it that I'd be pigeonholed into this thing, and there's definitely people in this industry that do. Like, I'll find myself in a workshop of a new show, and then an actor being like, God, I was kind of like skeptical when I saw your name on the cast list, but you're really good. And I'm like, oh, okay. But I'm like, I don't know why making content on the internet is sometimes viewed as like a less than. I'm like, that should be viewed as a secret weapon. Whereas I think maybe the tides are changing a little bit, but theater is always 7 years behind every other industry. So I'm just grateful to be also taken seriously as a musical theater performer and a performer still. So I think a huge big surprise is being asked to do workshops of new shows and readings of new shows, and just hey, Tyler's funny, like there's a funny character in this. Just the fact that I can simultaneously make a name for myself in the industry that I love so much, and also be making content about it is really, really gratifying, and hopefully that will keep happening.
And creating your own projects, like you said.
We're working on them. We're working on some.
Co-star.
Oh my God, you did the research, girl.
Oh no! Listen, it came
Thank
up,
you.
and I was like,
See,
this
introductor.
looks hysterical. Can you just talk like briefly on that? Because
no, of course, yeah. my friend Eddie Gray and I, we met doing a workshop of Muriel's Wedding the Musical in 2022, and he was the accent coach because he was Australian. We had to speak an Australian accent, so he was helpful. No, Eddie Gray, thanks for the accent work. And then so we have very similar senses of humor, and he approached me being like, I really want to make something. And I said, yeah, sure. And then he was the one that was like, let's meet every week and write something and come up with ideas and have a timeline. Thank God I had him, because he was like tethered me to real life. I was so intimidated by the whole process of making my own short film. I was like, So we co-wrote this thing, and he directed it and I starred in it. And it's essentially based on, events that our friends went through and sort of that we went through, which is you book a co-star on a TV show, which is like under 5 lines. And the feeling of, oh my God, I'm making it, like I'm finally in a TV show, but also what happens if your lines are cut, which happens a lot. And so that's sort of I play a character who gets their first co-star, really lets go to their head, and then right before he presses play, he realizes, he gets a call from his agent saying that he was cut from it. So it's him going through everything, but like trying to tell his friends anything but the truth, and would rather like destroy friendship than tell the truth and embarrass himself.
God.
So it's very funny, and we're sort of in post-production. We're fundraising for it. So if anyone has any spare change and wants to donate to a piece of art, just to go to our Seed and Spark campaign on my Instagram. Yeah, never not publicizing, never not promoting. No, but I'm very excited about it, and it only makes me want to do more of them. It's sort of,
Nice.
it's a different beast. I feel like I know theater so well, and then you go into film, and I'm like, oh my God, this is, one, so expensive, and two, just a different beast. But I love it. I love being a beginner in a space. So,
well, and once again, though, you're bringing all of the things that you have harnessed and know about the inside out of being an actor and put that into this. Once again, it's the monstrously hilarious thing.
It's my favorite thing.
Yeah. Also, I just want to say for everybody, if you dive in to Tyler's Instagram, about every 14 to 15 hilarious clips, you will get a thirst trap.
Yeah,
just
don't
every
worry.
so often, you'll get.
Wait, sorry, let me just pop on there real quick.
Pop on there real
see.
quick. There's some stuff on there.
We're like, I'm black and white and I'm pensive, and there's I'm in a pool, and
There's that. There's some pool.
I mean, you wear a pink suit very well, too.
Thank you so much. I love that suit.
And also,
right.
you'll
Wow,
get
thank
some
you.
fun cabaret songs, like and mashups, like Michael in the Bathroom with Super Bass.
With Super Bass by Nicki Minaj. One of my
So
best. One of my best. Yeah, there's some stuff in there. You never really know what I'm going to give you.
It's
it could
spicy.
Be some spicy, some sweet. We'll
my
see.
gosh.
But thank you. You're really selling me. I feel so good right now.
Well, you're
Well,
an
good.
easy sell,
Yeah.
Thank
well,
you.
Guess what? It ends now, because now it's time
right.
to play one of our cutthroat
Oh.
theater games,
Okay.
which generally speaking takes us all down a peg or two, frankly.
So don't worry.
So let's bring in our game master Chris, who is a vicious, hateful game master. I'm just kidding. He's a cuddle bug. We love him.
He's a lovely person on a spaceship.
Yeah.
Oh.
We do have a game. We have a game. It's called One Star Reviews. This episode's countdown is top musicals that should be movies, so I thought we'd read some reviews for musicals that people thought should not be movies. I'll read 3 reviews for each movie. Your job is to name the musical. If you know it, just shout out, and then we'll see if you're right.
Okay.
Just to clarify, we're talking about movies that should be musicals.
Movies that
The
already
countdown,
were
yes,
musicals?
but these are all movies that were
movie
musicals
that exist.
that people did not find to be enjoyable.
That people
Love
went,
it.
this should
I'm
not
a-
be a musical.
Yeah,
Even
and I
though
will.
it was.
I
But
will
all
say
right,
that
all right.
it's there's a lot of people that love these, so I'm not going to
course.
discount them. And I know we're not supposed to read negative reviews, but if they're so ridiculous, then we can't not take a look, right?
Life is
Thank
for the
you for the
living.
disclaimer.
Yes. And I also, if there's any spelling or grammatical errors, I never fix those, because if you're going to put this kind of negativity into the world, then you should have your flaws put on blast for all to see, or to hear in this case.
Beautiful.
So here we go. Here's the first one.
Okay.
They all have titles as well, which is nice. My friends asked me to download it. Declined. I've seen bad, campy, historically funny bad. but this is just plain old bad. Even for free, there is no redeeming reason to watch this movie. So like I said, there'll be 3. Next one, euthanize this movie. Without a doubt, the worst movie of the decade.
Oh.
The acting was eye-rollingly bad, and the best character in the movie was played by a pop star with no acting experience. And finally, this one might give it away. This is a horrible nightmare. This is a hairball some lunatic at Universal
Cats.
coughed up.
Cats.
You all know it. It is definitely Cats. Very good. It definitely is Cats. It's definitely a polarizing production.
I have still not seen it.
You haven't seen the film?
Me neither.
I will say what you want about the movie. The experience of watching the movie in theaters was one of the best nights of my entire life.
That's
So,
what
you know,
about Mamma
what are
Mia
you gonna
2, Here
do?
We Go Again.
Yeah, it's
One
like
of the
you
best
can say what you want about
afternoons
the
I've ever
quality, but about the thing, but also you have to encompass the experience within this review. And watching it on your computer, no, you should watch it on the biggest screen you possibly can. Butthole cut preferred.
Yeah.
Yes.
Always.
Oh man. Okay, great. What's our next
I think that
one?
more movies should offer a butthole cut.
I completely agree.
I mean, I'm
with
just
you,
going to say
Chris.
it. I don't know. Maybe
Yeah,
that's,
I don't know.
Call me Butler. Okay.
Anyway, here's the next one. Way to kill a great musical. Some of the best music ever written is utterly destroyed by pompous, pretentious people. Really bad singing, CGI, bad casting, just awful.
Oh.
I have 2 more.
Okay.
No, it's
Sweeney.
not.
I think it's Sweeney.
Into the Woods.
None of those, but let's keep
Okay.
going. Maybe this next one will help out a little bit.
Gigi.
Amateurs. I don't like musicals. I love them. And then in parentheses, with professionals. This is a hot mess done with amateur singers, which takes all the fun and quality of the musical out of it. I was not able to take bad performers scream throughout the movie without musical talents. Yeah. My ears have been tortured and finally left the theater before the end of the movie. So yeah. And then finally, this one should give it away by the title itself, Les Terribles. A musical for tone-deaf people.
Les Mis.
Excruciatingly dire. Yes, that is correct.
God,
Oh,
for the record,
Engine.
like the movies I'm throwing out, I don't agree, but I do, and we're trying to guess the film.
Yes,
so I just want
absolutely.
no one to tie my opinion to this opinion. We're playing a game, you silly geese.
Yeah.
So
Because in truth, you had the Aaron Tveit going on in the film. Hugh Jackman was splendid. I think that all of that rage and all of that is and rightfully so directed at one Russell Crowe.
Yeah.
yeah, because I
and-
don't mind that movie at all. I actually,
Yeah.
I mean, you don't find me watching it on a normal Tuesday. Like it's a feat to put that movie on. But I'm like
Yeah.
that. I don't know. I'm like there have been, that's not bad. It was
Yeah.
pretty epic. It was
I just
really-
saw a great interview with Anne Hathaway where they had her one of those Vanity Fair watch back at your performances thing.
Yeah.
She did Devil Wears Prada and Les Mis, and they had her watching Dream to Dream, and she gets all upset. She's like, I just imagine she was like, when you watch a match and the flame is just slowly going out, but you want it to stay alight. I feel like that was her. And I was like,
Oh,
oh, I can totally see. I don't know.
Thanks, Anne.
Yeah.
She won the Oscar, lest we forget.
It went-
And
Came true.
I think if they did that same interview exercise with Russell Crowe, he'd be like, I did what? So, I don't know.
like, I don't remember this movie.
Was I there? Okay.
I don't remember this movie.
That I remember seeing in theaters, and everybody applauded when he jumped off the bridge. And
Oh, that's horrible.
And-
Oh, he makes
and
that
not-
sound when he lands.
Yeah, when he hits the
That
neck.
crack. Oh.
Yeah. Oh, I like that. I love that crack though, because I
Oh
was
my
so mad
god,
at him.
you
Okay.
monster.
All right, last one.
Last one, absolutely.
this.
Here it goes. Dud, dead, dumb, numb. I was about to vomit my lunch. This was the poorest excuse for a film I've ever seen in a long time. For a movie set in my hometown, they certainly don't do much to highlight it. Why not show the culture and the amazing people that live there? It's not filled with criminals, or at least didn't used to be. Next.
Rent?
Let's shake the camera some more. Terrible picture. Awful, bloody film. I was so bored. Lead actress only has one face and one emotion, and it's that of someone that just ate a Sour Patch Kid. That's rough. If this flick wins the Oscar, it will follow in the footsteps of other horrible winners like Shakespeare in Love and Titanic. Throwing a little shade at someone else. And then finally, great stage show that should never have been made into a film. How could this film even get on the radar of the Oscars? Apostrophe S. I've heard local amateur, which is spelled a way I've never heard or never seen amateur spelled before. I've seen local amateur productions of the show with better singing. The only acting of notice was the role of Amos. And the only art
Chicago?
direction worth a nomination,
Chicago.
it sure was.
That's one of the best films of all time. How
All
dare
time.
this person?
Period.
How
No.
dare this person?
That's why I added it.
Thank you, Chris,
Well-
for doing this. That
Yeah.
was horrific.
Yeah.
How dare
and
you?
I'm just gonna say it. Whoever's writing, well, first of all, they're no Stephen King, are they? For the writing style,
They're not even Dan Brown.
they're slapping a bunch of words together. But I agree. Shame, shame, shame on whoever
Oh my
wrote
god,
that review.
not my hometown. Not you being like, it takes place in Chicago, my hometown.
Full of criminals.
Yeah.
They probably also whoever wrote this review. You're comparing your hometown in 2000 whatever to 1923 Chicago.
Why didn't they
What?
showcase Portillo's more? I don't understand.
What about our deep dish?
I was gonna say, where was Uno's? I didn't see a single.
Lou
piece of
Malnati's
skin.
wasn't even featured. Yeah, that's unbelievable. Oh my god.
Wow.
Okay.
Thank you. Wow.
Wow.
Well, Enraged. Now we're enraged. And now comes the
Wow.
time for even greater rage.
Oh.
Or to create a rage. Thanks, Chris.
Thanks,
you.
Chris.
We are now we're fit to be tied. We're in a full-blown rage. We're hulking out.
Now I'm just excited to go rewatch Chicago and then leave it fabulous reviews. But speaking of movie musicals, I think we need to get into our countdown, Tyler, of you giving us your top 5 Broadway musicals that have yet to be turned into movies that will then be roasted by vicious people on the internet. So,
Yeah.
The circle of life.
All right, Tyler, the moment of truth is here. Now we've got to know, what are your top 5 movies that need to be made into musicals? I'm so into this because the sky's the limit. I can't wait to hear what you have.
Yes. Obviously, I had to give this a lot of thought.
Yeah.
And a lot of musicals have been made into movies already or are actively pitched to be movies. And one
Yeah.
of these on my list has been kicked around for so many years that I'm like, I have decided that it doesn't count because there hasn't been any, actual forward momentum with it. It's just been like an announcement in a Playboy article once. So I refuse to, to take that out of the running. So I'm going to be starting with number 5.
Yes, please.
And number 5 for me is She Loves Me. Bach perfect gem of a musical.
It is.
Yes, with Joe Mastroff's book. Obviously, Joe Mastroff also did the book for Cabaret. I think there's that book writer, knows what he's doing. And ultimately, of course, it's based on the play Perfumery, which was made into a film and then another film. So there have been films of this, most famously Shop Around the Corner. Oh, wait, and then I guess You've Got Mail is also really famous. Both are really famous.
Say, You've
Yeah.
Got Mail is like my happy movie when I'm
Oh, it's
sad.
the
I get
best.
ice cream and watch it. But also Shop Around
Vanilla
the Corner,
ice cream?
absolutely delightful film. Oh,
You
always
get
vanilla ice cream.
and watch
Yeah,
it?
you need
Okay,
to.
perfect.
Who do you think I am?
Tyler, one thing we've learned about Michael is that he has been known to eat vanilla ice cream in the shower whilst
I don't
singing
recommend
vanilla
it.
ice cream.
Yeah,
Wow.
I
Phenomenal
wouldn't recommend
work.
it though. Dairy and hot
Okay,
water just
sounds
don't mix.
wet. Sounds interesting. Sounds melty.
Especially if you're
Yeah.
mildly lactose intolerant and you don't
Uh-oh.
really have high notes. It's just a rough situation.
I'm so sorry.
But it's your shower.
It's your shower, honey. But yes, She Loves Me, I would say, because ultimately I think what the most recent revival, I believe in 2016, taught us was, if you can really flesh out Marichek's and like make it an ornate, Budapest style perfumery, then I mean the visuals could be just fantastic, and I'd be obsessed to see, She Loves Me on the streets of Budapest, like a beautiful soundstage. I can see it being Technicolor. I see it being a really fantastic movie musical. And
Do you know what?
what?
What if it was Wes Anderson?
Oh, sure, something wacky, something with an amazing like sense of color and perspective. I just think the score is so undeniable. It's, for me, no skips. I think it's like an absolutely perfect musical. I think it's absolutely delightful. It has that darkness, with Marichek accidentally missing him. He tries to kill himself in it, which we forget, but he fails, thank God. But I just think the opportunity to translate the world of She Loves Me on screen is one that I'm interested to see, and could really be some powerhouse performances from some soprano. some Sopranos, some delicious, delightful. I can imagine the cast just being so fire, and it's funny. It's like it's a musical comedy. So
It's a
I'm in.
delight.
So
I
that's,
love it.
for me. I think it's recognizable material in terms of the source material, but we love a rom-com, and I think there's fun opportunities for it. Romantic atmosphere in like a full production number in a restaurant, like that would be fantastic. I don't know.
It would be.
I love
I
this
just
idea.
want to say when they when they hear this, them. When they hear this, that Amanda Seyfried is going to campaign for the role here. Just don't do it this time.
For Amalia Abolish.
Yeah, just don't do it this time.
No, the tea.
This one time, sit it out.
Sit it out.
Yeah.
She's, I'm sure, listening, and she's taking notes. So, are we able to move on to number 4? Or
We
do you
should,
want to-
Let's
yeah.
do
Okay,
it.
we're moving
No.
on.
Number 4.
Number 4, an Aronson Flaherty classic, Once on This Island. I think Once on This Island would make an absolutely phenomenal movie.
Yes.
Because, again, you have to think about setting. I think with all of mine, setting is a huge part of the story and where it takes place. It's almost, say it with me, another character. And with Once on This Island, in terms of the actual island and like where we're taking place, I'm thinking of the car crash. I'm thinking of the rain. I'm thinking of how all 4 of the gods are 4. Is that right? Am I saying?
4.
Or are there 3 of
Yes,
them?
yeah.
No, they're 4. God, Tyler, don't doubt yourself. But how they all translate in film, the interesting, movie magic that can be done there. I just think it has, whimsy, almost like a fairy tale quality, and I think could be fantastic and filmed on location somewhere stunning.
Oh yeah.
I'm waiting for life to begin. Like you could just do the most incredible, sequence with with Timoon singing. I'm like, it could be phenomenal.
I'm just picturing Mama Will Provide with all
Yes.
of
I mean,
the
exactly.
things just coming to life. Like,
Yes.
oh my
Yeah.
God.
It feels like
Yeah.
almost obvious. I just think it'd be
Yeah.
phenomenal.
Like, why hasn't Disney done this?
Well, my sentiments exactly. It just seems like it could be a phenomenal, like a really visually stunning piece.
Oh, 1000%.
So I think Once on This Island. Spoiler alert: there is another Aronson Flaherty on this list. They are represented
Correct.
twice here. But
So
I'm okay with that.
Disney, who's also
Fair.
listening, go ahead and do this. Amanda Seyfried, again, you don't
Oh my
need to
God.
be in this one either.
Don't.
Not her role, unfortunately.
Unfortunately, there's nothing for you here. But Disney,
But
hear,
Disney,
hear what we
go
say.
for it.
Yeah.
Go for it. No, I think, I'm imagining, and that's just like the castle, and I think there's a lot of opportunity for some movie magic here. Okay,
Yes.
so we're moving on to number 3.
Let's do it.
Moving on to number 3.
3.
I'm loving this so far.
The Light in the Piazza.
Piazza.
Yes.
Talk
Aw.
about setting being a character in the show. I think if we get to be in Firenze and see, and have the titular song sung in like a piazza.
In an actual piazza?
An actual piazza? Like,
Not
forget
just
about
by a gay tourist spinning around telling his boyfriend to film him and his boyfriend
Okay.
saying no.
No,
Like-
yeah, it's sort of exactly what you were saying.
Yeah.
But I just think like statues and stories, like stunning. Like you actually could
Yeah.
like walk through, Italy,
Yeah.
and you can like see, I think, oh God, I think the setting, and also, I mean, talk like that score in a movie setting would be stunning, and just like an amazing. I talk about another again. I think I just want Sopranos on screen. I think it's an amazing opportunity. I think Kelly O'Hara could easily be in the film, or Audra McDonald could be in the film. I want one of the Broadway greats to have her like Oscar nomination moment with this film. I think
Vicky
that's-
Clark. She's not too
Vicky
old.
Clark
Like, she
can come back
still
and do it. Come on.
Yeah, again, and speaking of movie stars, though, Meryl Streep, who's also listening, I'm going to
my
go
God,
and say,
yeah.
Meryl, you can pass on this one, too.
Oh my gosh.
Like, you and
You're
Amanda
going-
can both pass it. You're wonderful, but you don't need to do this film.
You're gonna want to do it. Don't do it.
Yeah,
You're gonna
just
want to
resist
do
the
it.
urge.
I mean, that's a hard. I think she would understand that. That's a hard thing. That would be
She
a tough thing.
she did Florence Foster Jenkins. She's aware here.
Yeah, she. God, I would forget that happened.
Yeah.
Oh, but
but yes.
beautiful. What a good.
Yeah.
I'm 1000% with you on that.
You're taking us
on.
all over the world with this.
I'm
which
taking.
really
That's
am,
the
too.
point. I'm taking you all
Yeah.
over the world.
Yay.
But we will get back to New York for my last 2.
Okay.
My last 2. We're going back to the city, honey. Number 2, Ragtime.
Yes.
Ragtime. Think the grandeur. I think we're scared.
grandeur.
The grandeur. I think if you look at that '98 production, and how much money they funneled into that show, and how magical it was to see fireworks on stage every night, see a real car, see 3 full-sized ensembles on stage at once. I think the way that show worked best when it was done with no holds barred and done with a bunch of money. And I can't help but think of the visual world of this movie, of how epic it would be. How would you stage the opening number? Would it be like on the streets of New York? Where would it be? Like, how would you do the narration of everyone? Like, I'm thinking about Evelyn Nesbit and how like the world of that, like how, you know, it's such a journey, that show. The night that Goldman spoke at Union Square, where you get to see like an entire, you know, like rally. And oh my God. And then obviously our children, I'm imagining like how intimate and incredible that could be on screen. That's such an intimate and small moment. I just think there's a lot of kinks that could be ironed out with that show on screen. I don't know, y'all. I get chills thinking about it.
I think you're right.
I
I'm getting
love
chills
it.
too, and I think you're right. I think it would have to be of an epic scale. Like this would need to be
Like
we're
Christopher
putting-
Nolan needs to do.
We're
Oh my
putting,
God, can you
we're
imagine?
putting this out for Oscar contention, kind of. Jam.
Yeah, no, this is an Oscar.
It's 3.5 hours long.
It comes out in
No,
December.
exactly.
Yeah.
It's a December
definitely
release.
coming out in December. Yeah.
It's a Christmas movie, but like a dark Christmas movie. But
They're
yeah, that's
gonna-
what you need. One of those big directors, like a Chris Nolan or a Tom Hooper, somebody who's gonna like really go for it.
That will, again, like, just someone who understands how the material should be treated and what the world looks like, and, you know, in the turn of the century garb, turn of the century. I mean, it's just, I got the Getting Ready rag, like, or Henry Ford, how, like, in a factory. Like, it would be so expensive, but so worth it. So worth it. And it's ultimately my dying wish. If someone else doesn't make it, I will make enough money in my lifetime to produce it. And it's going to be great. So, because this needs to happen, and I think people are scared of it. It's a tall task, but I think it's necessary.
It's absolutely necessary. Yeah.
Should I move on to my first
It's time.
number
Do
one?
it.
Drum
So
roll, please.
It's drum roll, please. Hard to beat Ragtime, but my number one choice is Follies. Follies is
Oh,
and there's a few reasons for this. Follies is one of my all-time favorite musicals. It's Stephen Sondheim. I think ultimately with younger generations, it's very underappreciated because, you know, it's not as accessible. You don't see people singing a lot of Follies material for college auditions. It's just one of the shows that can't permeate into your psyche unless you look for it. And I think once you find it, you never forget it. And that's this movie for me. I think I was just talking to someone about this the other day about making Follies into a film and the opportunities you have for the ghosts in the theater, the younger versions of everyone following. I think Waiting for the Girls Upstairs could be a phenomenal like one shot where we go backwards through time, where we see the theater and then like where in its grandeur. I think there's so many opportunities for seeing the Follies like done and a full Follies and then transitioning into the theater that's about to be torn down. I think we can get some of the greats that are still alive, but you know, we don't have that much time. Like Liza can be singing "I'm Still Here."
Is it
like
bad
I'm
I was thinking Liza?
No, absolutely.
Meryl could be in this one. Though.
Meryl
I
could
would
be in
allow
it,
that one.
absolutely.
Meryl could totally
Meryl
lose
can be
her
in this
mind.
one. Like,
she's
she
good
could be
at it.
Sally for sure.
And she could give her an accent. She loves that. You know, Sally
God,
could be from
fantastic.
wherever she wants.
No, wherever she wants.
Like she's
Yes.
Australian now.
Yeah, why not? You know, why not? She's from Australia.
By way
but
of Mumbai,
I
who
just
knows, she
think
could pull it
Follies seems like and it's been kicked around. People say that there's a Follies movie happening, but I have not seen anything aside from just an article saying that it might happen. But I think we haven't. You know, I think. People are. I mean, after Into the Woods, I think people are scared of approaching Sondheim material. For films. I know Merrilee's happening in 20 years, and but I think Follies is the one that lends it. Like Sunday at the Park with George is my favorite musical. Do I think it'd make a good movie? No, because
tough.
I think CGI would kill it. I think it would not be cute. So whereas Follies wouldn't require any. It would be. And it could all take place inside of a theater, and the with limitation comes creativity. I think that when we think about the costume design and think about the performances from older actors, like actors that are looking, you know, and we can get some of the greats to do this, and I think they would because it's that kind of material. And Meryl does come to mind. as you know, she's one of Sondheim's girls. Christine Baranski. I'm talking about like people in this generation that are looking for
Glenn.
meaty material. I mean, oh my God,
yeah.
bring her in.
Glenn.
Like all of these
Yeah.
girls could come in and do it. And I think it gets me excited even thinking about the prospect. But you guys have to make it fast, whoever is like, trying to make this, because
We're running
some
out
of
of
the greats,
time.
we're running. I mean, it's true. Like we are. Like Liza singing "I'm Still Here Forever" on screen. That we're running out of time, and she would
yeah.
do it.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Like,
She'd panhandle for it on the street. She'd Will Foley's film for food.
Oh, precisely.
Exactly.
I just think, think about if they did that and did it right. I think it would be definitely an Oscar contender, and I think it would just introduce younger people to this show.
Yeah.
I think because it's not done very often. So you have to you have to have huge productions of it to afford these seasoned actors.
star,
It's a
yeah.
hard show and it's really expensive to pull off. But when Follies is done correctly, oh my God, there's nothing better than it. It stays with you. You never forget. Oh, cuckoo bananas.
Cuckoo
God.
bananas. I applaud you. These are excellent.
Thank you so much. I'm
choices.
out of breath. I got so
Given me
impassioned.
I'm a little
a
bit
lot.
myself.
That's the thing. That's the thing about this show, though. It gets
Yeah.
you all worked up.
I'm all worked up right now.
We all.
The fact that I have
we
to
end up-
wait to hear yours, that's a special torture. That you're
It is.
Um,
You're
Yeah.
welcome.
It's right up there with picking, because I'm still new to the show, and they kicked me off with picking like my top 10 musicals of all time and like top 10 musical theater songs.
Hateful.
Do you know how
Hateful.
hard that was?
I can't even imagine. I don't know where
No.
to
It's just
start.
rude.
Rude.
It's tough, and every time I think it's going to get easier, and it's not. These are always really excruciating.
But I loved how
'Cause you
specific
just
this question
love
was.
them all.
This question
Yeah.
I was able to do. I was like, you know
Yeah.
what? It took a few days, but I was able to narrow her down. There were some
Yeah.
honorable mentions, but I won't get into that because they're probably on your lists.
You think? Maybe.
We'll see.
Yeah.
Well, you're a dreamboat. Thank you
Yes.
for being with us and counting down with us and playing our reindeer games.
Of course, my honor, my privilege. Again, this is my favorite thing to talk about in the world.
In the
And when
world.
people and that it's rare that it's not even in New York City. It's not every day where you list off these 5 shows and everyone knows what you're talking about. So it is
yeah.
refreshing to just talk to nerds.
Nerds and your fellow old soul when
Tell
it
me
comes
why.
to theater taste as well, which
Oh.
is always
Yeah.
appreciated.
My heart, of my heart.
Yes, thank you. And so nice to finally meet you. After,
I know, what a
feel
treat.
Like you're
I feel
another
like
one
it's a
where I
really
feel like
long
I
time
knew
coming.
you. Because
No, same.
I followed you for so long, and so I was just like,
My heart.
in my brain, it's like, oh, you're an old friend, which
Yeah,
in
no,
that
you are.
creepy Instagram way.
No, you are, and it's not creepy. It's beautiful.
Oh, it's a
What a
little
joke.
creepy.
It is.
All right.
All right.
Well,
Well,
go out there, spread joy.
and remind
I'll
everyone real
try.
quick where they can follow you
Oh,
and
yeah,
keep
yeah.
up with you, and where they can catch your film when it's ready and all that stuff.
Amazing. Oh my gosh, so many questions.
Yes.
If you're not sick of me by now, you can follow me on Instagram and TikTok at Tyler Joseph Ellis. If you want to see what I'm up to, go to tylerjosephellis.com. I just, updated the website, so feel free to make your way over there. And yeah, the short film, people need to donate to the campaign, and then I'll let you know when it is coming out.
Perfect. So,
It's expensive.
yeah.
But,
Call
so
to
while
action.
Liza's
Call
out
to
there
action.
panhandling for follies, you'll be right next
me
to
for
her doing
co-star.
it.
I'll be
for
right next to
co-star.
her, and I think
Yeah.
we'll do really good work together.
Perfect.
We'll take Liza's sloppy seconds any old day of the week. Offer it
Precisely.
up.
Yeah.
And that's really the point of this show. Okay.
We did it.
Well, bye. Thanks,
Bye,
Tyler.
friends.
Thank you.
Well,
I
that was
adore
so
him.
much fun.
That
Listen, that kiddo's going places. I tell you what.
Oh my God, so many places, and quickly. He's got long legs. He's going to get there very fast.
What a stride!
yeah.
What a gate!
What a gate indeed.
What a canter! All right,
Yes.
I thought some of his choices were beautiful.
Yes.
I thought all of his choices were beautiful. In particular, the way he was describing the light in the Piazza as a
Yeah.
film, I just thought that was glorious. But those are some good ones. But let's
Yeah.
talk about ours and see where we have any, if there's any crossover.
Yes, because
will you-
I think there's going to be spoilers.
I think maybe.
Maybe.
Give us the red hot recap of your 10 through 6.
Yes, my 10 through 6 were Paradise Square,
Right.
beautiful, the Carole King musical, Avenue Q, the funky psychedelic music, Strange Loop, and City of Angels.
Marvelous, marvelous, marvelous. I
Mrs.
want
Maisel.
I want a film noir, oldsy timesy, sepia-toned Wild Party, Andrew Lippa Wild Party film. I want a Lorax computer-generated image, Seussical the musical for the kids on Thanksgiving. I want that. There's just no reason why it shouldn't happen. I'm excited to support Doug Lyons in the Big River film. That's my number 8. Number 7, Spamalot. It's foolproof. Just reshoot the old movie and have the musical numbers. And my number 6, which we were all really jazzed about, was a super chaotic reality shaky camera American Idiot.
Yes.
Movie. Oh,
yes.
yeah.
American Idiot. Gets me right in my growl.
Yeah, your growl.
Except that quickly just becomes, I don't know, like Harvey Firestein.
Beetlejuice.
Oh, yeah, Beetlejuice. That's much cooler.
Yeah. And what it does to me is it's like, I gotta go see the doctor. I give myself nodes immediately.
Oh, no.
Yeah. All
the
right.
7th show of an 8-show week.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Would you like to kick us off? Or
Do you know what? I'd be happy to.
Oh, my
I'd be
God.
happy to go
Thank you.
first this time.
Thank
All right.
you.
All right. Picture it. Number
Okay.
5. Picture it.
Fat.
It's a Merchant Ivory film. It is
Okay.
so lush. It is so beautiful. It is so distinguished. It is so on location. It's in India. It's on the ports. It's back in Britain. It's foggy. It's misty. It's moody. There's a castle. There's a house on a hill. Because it's time for the Secret Garden to be made into a Merchant Ivory style
Yes.
film. It would be
Yes.
so beautiful. A lot of the ones that I've chosen, I think, thus far have been like on the more contemporary, like lighter side. But this, I want to just be a beautiful epic. I want to see the spokes of the wheels of the carriages going up the path. I
Yes.
want the ghostly appearances to be really strange and ethereal. And I think we need a budget for this one. But Merchant Ivory.
Yeah,
all
I'm
the
going to
way.
use all my United points to get around to all these places where we're filming.
Yes.
I love that.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that.
That's good, right? Yeah, I like it too. It would be beautiful.
Yeah, and add it to the list of Secret Garden film versions because they're all wonderful. That is a book that translates well to everything.
There's so many.
There
But
really are. There's
none
so
of-
many Mrs. Matlocks. Soon
but
we're
none
going to
of
do our
them-
top 10 Mrs. Matlocks.
Matlocks. Or just our top 10 Matlocks.
Yeah.
Which begins and ends with, wait, who played Matlock?
Oh, yeah. Oh, who did?
Leslie Neal?
Well,
wait, no. Who's
Maybe
Matlock?
we'll find out and let you know in our
Later.
Patreon, which
Yeah.
you should check out for only $5 a month. Now,
Absolutely. What's your number 5?
my number 5, the first crossover of the episode. I agree with Tyler. My number 5 is Once on This Island, and I just would love to see like what Disney would do with it. I agree. I think this is definitely one where it's like, I want to see the fun family version of this where like Rob Marshall and Disney do what they did with Into the Woods, get together and just make a fun, fabulous version of Once on This Island.
All right, go with me on this. This is going to be full Wes Anderson style, and I don't know if there's just some sort of like crossover minutia here for me with like Andy Griffith was Matlock.
Andy,
of
sorry,
course.
we just have it. That pregnant pause that you just heard, that waitressy
Was us.
pause, was us finding out that Andy Griffith was indeed
was
Matlock.
That's right.
Sorry,
Oh my gosh. To
we
shine
held you
so
in such
bright.
suspense.
To shine so bright so late in life. That's great. All right, so I think Wes Anderson needs to. I don't know if I'm just thinking about the Grand Budapest Hotel,
Maybe.
but I think I might be. But I want to. I think Grand Hotel, the musical film,
Yes.
would be wonderful.
Okay,
All
that
these
was on my list. So this is great.
interesting, eccentric characters. Yes, and
Yeah.
because I was saying that I felt like Wes Anderson could do like a She Loves Me situation, but this is what I see for Grand Hotel. Like, I just think We'll All Raise a Glass. I can see that just being so kooky, and the visuals just being so stark and grandiose, and I think Wes Anderson directing Grand Hotel. Yeah, and there's so much fun.
love
Like,
that,
I want to
yeah.
go to Hollywood would be such a great number, and yeah, I just
You're taking us to some fun places between that and Wild Party from the
Yeah.
last episode. Yeah, you're taking us to some cool like grunge jazz age places.
grunge jazz age places.
Yeah.
Very on brand. Very on brand.
Oh, love it.
All right.
My number 4 is, and I have a sneaky suspicion this is going to be on your list, but you haven't said it yet, is Miss Saigon.
Oh, interesting. Okay. Proceed.
I would love to see, like, Spielberg do Miss Saigon. Spielberg does a war film well, whether producing or directing. And I can just see this as, like, a big, grand, epic, like, IMAX-y movie musical. That helicopter, they do something in the theater where the wind blows on you like it's 4D. And I think you go with it sort of like a big, I know people had some thoughts about certain things in the Les Mis movie, but that sort of like huge grand
scope.
production of Saigon, I think it could be really incredible and win all the special effects Oscars.
So here's the crazy thing. Of course, I put it on my list to think about because we all know that it's one of my all-time favorites.
Yeah,
hands down. I could not visualize a way in which, and this is why it stopped me from putting it on there. Can't visualize a way, maybe more so now, where that could be a successful film without. I don't know. And now that you said Spielberg, I think that's the only way, because now I'm thinking like Saving Private Ryan, and I'm thinking about Schindler's List and these grand wartime epics.
Yeah.
And knowing what he was able to do with West Side Story, if I accept this and also do too want this if it's Steven Spielberg.
Yeah, I think it's just Spielberg or somebody like a Spielberg that could pull that off. And also you need like his name for it too, like Steven Spielberg presents Miss Saigon.
It's just going to be, every time I visualize like the sluts and the GI, it starts to feel too campy to be in a real space.
I know that would be Guy Ritchie's version. That would be his take on it, which also would be wildly entertaining. I mean, incorrect, but entertaining. Also, like Ridley Scott maybe could do it too. Like
Christopher Nolan.
I feel like Christopher Nolan is almost too. I can't
Cerebral.
find the word. Oppenheimer.
That's the word.
Too cerebral. I don't know. It needs to be somebody who can be just a little bit more sort of like lean into the theatricality of it all, which I feel like Spielberg could do. Anyway, but it's funny you say that because Miss Saigon was one of the first ones that sprung to mind for me.
It would have to be massive. It would just have to be so huge. I mean, I don't know that the budget exists to do what you would have to do to make this movie better or on par with what they're able to do on stage with this.
Yeah.
But think about
I think Spielberg
Morning
could
of
pull
the
it off.
like think about Morning of the Dragon, just how huge that would have to be.
Yeah, but imagine that on screen.
Yeah.
If
All right,
done
I'll go.
properly, it'd be so good. Oh, the scene where they're evacuating. Oh my God.
Which is the best scene in the show. Okay. All right. Beautiful. Number 3 to me.
Yes.
We continue to count down. My number 3 is my first crossover with my good Judy, and my number 3 is City of Angels.
Oh, yay!
And for all the reasons that I agreed to your reasons in the last episode. So if you are one of those people who likes to cut corners and just jump to the top 5, I assure you it's well worth it to listen to the full top 10. So go back in time, click play, and subscribe.
Indeed.
But City of Angels, done and done. Nothing more to say about it. Yeah. Great movie.
Great movie.
Great movie. Doesn't exist.
Loved it. Okay, speaking of crossovers, though, so Spamalot was in my top 5. And so when you said Spamalot, I was like, okay, but you already said it. So let me, take a second since I did have a second to rethink. So my new number 3 is Kimberly Akimbo.
Okay. I thought
think
about her.
Would be a really sweet, indie film. Shot sort of in the style like Juno. Very a very low budget, just in the house. And I think because these people, so many of them dream of a life that they don't have. So many of them they're not satisfied with where they're living. So I can just see the scene on the couch where the mother has her 2 hands in casts, just singing into the camera, and you're cutting between
kind of minimalist.
Seeing it and the video of it. I think you could play with that, like almost as if the POV is this kid of the future watching back their home videos. And I can just see the scene in the basement with them all singing and sort of going through it. And I don't know if this is because it's like maybe all the songs are just from Kimberly's point of view and it's just sort of like in her, not Kimberly. Yeah. Why am I blanking? Her name actually is. Yeah. For a second I was like, is that the anagram? No. But yeah, anyway, I think this could be a really sweet,
LaVarca,
lovely,
right? Isn't her last
lovely
name?
little movie. Yeah,
LaVarca?
that's
LaVarca?
something like that. Yeah.
Something like that, yeah.
But yeah, I think it'd be great.
I can see that. I can absolutely see that. I see them like zooming in on the like crappy little house that they live in and like going to the. But who are you casting as Kimberly in a major motion picture?
It's hard because I really want it to be Victoria Clark, but I
Yeah.
like to get to redo it. But I think it's going to be Meryl Streep.
Oh yeah, it's obviously Meryl Streep.
It's Meryl. And
yeah.
she's going to win her 4th Oscar for it because
and
she's
she
going to be. It's
would
Meryl
love
playing a
it.
16-year-old. It's the one accent she hasn't done yet.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, of course it's Meryl. That's probably already happening. It's going to be fun to look back and see how many of these things come to fruition.
I know.
We will take credit for them.
Oh, 1,000%.
Even though, we had nothing to do with it.
Great minds, right? Oh,
Great
or Kate
minds.
Blanchett. Because can Kate Blanchett sing? Just wait until she's old enough and then let her. No, she's too
Sure.
glamorous. She's not. She's too glammy. No, stick with Meryl Streep. Sorry.
Okay.
Ignore me.
I mean, I'll stick with Meryl Streep. I wonder if Jean Smart can sing.
Ooh. Because that would be good too.
Yeah. I don't know why that came into my mind.
I mean,
I just
she
love.
deserves to be there.
I just love divine
Jean Schmatt.
actresses. I mean, divine actresses of a certain age. They're my favorite.
Yeah. Because it would be Judi Dench 10 years ago.
Right. Obviously. Yeah. Maggie Smith.
Always.
We know we love.
She's fine.
She's fine if you like that sort of thing. Number 2. This is a huge, big budget Scorsese situation.
Great.
As well. This is like the Gangs of New York, but it's gotta be gritty and it's almost gotta be like one of those things where it's I don't want to say this out loud, but it's gotta be almost like it's gotta be 3 hours long and it needs to be almost like it's barely a musical at all, even though it has to be a great big beautiful musical.
Okay. And it's not beautiful, the musical.
No, it's the historic epic of a lifetime on film, opening on Christmas, A Nation Beginning, Ragtime.
Oh, another great minds, you and Tyler. Another one.
Ragtime.
There we are.
Yeah, yep. Both of our number 2.
Yeah.
But absolutely, right? Yeah.
I
It's
1,000% agree. Like,
Yeah.
honestly, I huzzah this yet again. This needs to
Yeah.
exist.
a double huzzah.
Yeah. This is a massive, and you're right. That is just a Jagundis budget.
Huge.
Just below out movie
Huge.
musical. Huge.
Epic, historic blockbuster.
Indeed.
Yeah.
And speaking of crossovers, I'm going to reiterate another one because it's on my list. My number 2 is his number 3. I'm going to steal is Light in the Piazza.
I thought maybe.
And because I do love that shows, I need Ang Lee to direct this. Like, I've had this in my head for a while. I need Ang Lee to come and do what he did to, what's the one about the kid and the tiger? Anyway, Life of Pi. And Brokeback Mountain. And just like, I just think he would be the perfect director for it. And it would be sweeping and gorgeous. And I would love every second of it.
Yeah.
So that would be great minds.
Gorgeous.
Yeah. Clearly, we're all in a roll if we're picking similar shows. Like, producers, listen.
Yeah.
Clearly, we know what we're talking about.
We're talking to you, Mr. Producer.
Yeah. Hey,
Talking
Mr.
to
Producer.
you, producer. We don't got a
How
lot.
does that song go?
Only what we got. Just a theater countdown and a follow spot. And a ring light
Patreon.
spot.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh. We're killing
Someday,
it.
maybe.
If I
beautiful.
stick it long enough.
Long enough. Counting down, I'll show my stuff. working for whoever.
Working for
With a
Danny,
pop-
and he's listening.
Danny, you'll produce these films.
Perfect.
All right.
You
My
number
number one. My number one. And I am so glad that we are doing this countdown, this list, because I'm fed up. I'm up to here, and if you could see where I'm putting my hands, it's above my tall hairline. I'm up to here.
Well above.
With waiting around and hemming and hawing about this. And it needs to happen because it's the only way that I can foresee we can finally get this Glenn Close doesn't have an Oscar thing off the table. This is ridiculous. Time is up. Please, people, pull it together and make the Sunset Boulevard movie. I'm shouting because I'm so over this nonsense.
Same.
What's the big deal?
I
Make
don't know.
the movie.
Why
She's
can't
not,
they get the funding?
She's not too old yet. I don't care if a chimpanzee in a tutu directs it. I don't care.
I know.
Get an
The woman
iPhone
literally
on her
did a
right
full
now.
revival
You can
of it
CGI,
specifically
I
to
don't know
get
what
the
you gotta
movie
do.
made.
She's not too old. It's fine to play Norma Desmond a little bit older. This is... I need this so much. And she will win an Oscar before the movie's released. It's not an issue.
The
and then we can
moment
all
the
be like,
deadline
well, it was-
announcement comes out.
We'll all say things like, well, it was worth the wait, wasn't it, Glenn? And she'll be like, yes, my whole life, that's my Glenn Close impression. Yes, my whole life was waiting for this moment. Thank you for listening. I'm just so sick of it. Why it was happening, it wasn't happening, it was happening, it's not happening. It has to happen in my lifetime.
Yeah, in her lifetime, that needed to be said. I feel your pain. I think many people here listening feel your pain, except for the people that are listening because we're in the top 10 podcasts about the Book of Mormon.
For the Mormons.
They
Mormons,
don't get
you will love Mormons. You will love this movie.
Get behind this. Give it all your money.
There's no premarital sex on stage.
No.
Very few curse words. Sure, there's a couple Catholics and a German, but it's just
fine.
Suspend your disbelief.
Exactly. They sing. It's not real life. Oh my God, you're right. Oh my God, I am verklempt. I feel like I need
over it. I'm so angry.
I need a water. I know. I've never seen you this worked up before, but you're so right. You're so right.
I am.
Oh my God. I just heard a pop. Are you drinking kombucha? Do you need to replenish your gut after that?
I'm having some lime flavored bubbly from my Soda Stream. Sponsor us. I need to wet my whistle after expending this much rage.
Yeah, you need to. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Okay.
Please make the Sunset Boulevard movie with Glenn Close. Why did she even do the musical?
Oh God.
The only reason.
You know what's going to happen, though? The Nicole Scherzinger one is going to be a massive hit, and she's going to get the movie. And Glenn is going to literally burn down a building. Like,
oh my God,
Glenn Close is going to go.
Glenn Close will become radioactive and become a giant Godzilla-type King Kong monster, and she will storm the city, radioactively tearing down skyscrapers, looking for the blood of Nicole Scherzinger and Andrew Lloyd Webber.
With one look, she will crumble an entire city. Lasers will come out. She'll be like, with one. Like, that's how this is going to go.
The people run and scream.
You know what, though? We will not be screaming. We will stand there and we'll be like, we agree with you, Glenn Closenator. Like,
justice for the monster, we'll say.
Yeah, Glenzilla. And that will be the most justified raising of a city you have ever seen. Bring me Weber. Like, and you know what? The only other voice you'll hear is Patti LuPone's in the background going, I told you.
So,
Karma. It'll be Patti.
Oh, Karma is a bitch. Karma is my boyfriend.
Like, and that's how Glenzilla will be defeated. Is Patzilla will rise, and it will be a battle of the Normas, and the only one who won't survive is Andrew Lloyd Webber.
And if they make a film out of this all happening, they'll call it an enormous hit. I'm putting
Oh
in
my God. I don't even know how to top that, but I will do my darndest. We'll just
okay.
real quick because we literally have to finish the countdown.
Make sure you follow us on all of our socials and rate and review us. We'll read them. And
Yes.
Be our Patreon family friend.
Do it.
And also respond to us on our socials and tell us what's in your countdowns.
Yes.
And
And
where
tell us how much you agree with us about the Sunset Boulevard movie. Oh
I'm
my
ready to
God.
fight. All right, go. I'm sorry.
I'm exhausted. I almost
your moment.
I can't.
I'm sweating.
Me too.
I'm having a problem. Right now.
Yeah, same. I need to go take a shower. That was a lot. I almost wish we had ended with that because that is the biggest one. Okay, so my number one, we're not going to get nearly as worked up about this, but it's and it's gonna be so anticlimactic after that. It's 42nd Street. Now,
it is.
I know.
Wait a minute. Hold on. There's a 42nd Street movie. Don't be ridiculous.
There's a 42nd Street movie that the musical is based on. So the
from
movie musical,
1933.
it's a Busby Berkeley musical. That the Broadway musical is based on. They are very different.
Oh, wow.
But yeah, like Ginger Rogers was the original Anytime Annie. It's a really fun musical. It's like one of the great Busby Berkeley stylized musicals of the time. And if you know Busby Berkeley, he's the one who did the sort of kaleidoscope style dance numbers with zillions and zillions of dancers. And then they made a musical version of it in the 80s. Then they did a revival in the early 2000s with Christine Ebersol and Michael Kumsty. I saw the revival in Mary Testa. I absolutely loved it. I love 42nd Street. And I would love someone to take the revival version, because even that's pretty different from the original with Jerry Orbach. And to make that, again, into another, like, epic movie extravaganza in the style of Busby Berkeley, but with the technology that we have now.
We have today.
So I would love, and again, I think this is sort of like a Scorsese. This is a director who's obsessed with old movies and cinema history, who would want to take somebody as iconic as Busby Berkeley and those grand musicals of the 1930s and do it with modern technology, like that kaleidoscope with all those dancers. And it's like, imagine that in 3D with all those legs coming at you. Like, this could be I know, we're like, whoa.
Just
like,
dodging, like, whoa, dear.
They could even have little, like, taps fly out of the screen and just, like, get you in the face. It could be, I think, a stunning, I know, duck, gird your loins. I think this could be a really stunning
Gird your
movie.
loins.
That is the movie musical I've wanted since I saw it when I was in high school, and I want somebody to do it. I want someone to make a massive updated version of 42nd Street, and I think it's a story that we need now. This beautiful Peggy Sawyer story of hope, with some razzle dazzle.
Peggy Sawyer story of hope. Yeah. We have Patreon friends in the studio here with. Hi guys.
Hello.
I'm happy you're here. Mwah, we love you. We love you. We love you.
We do. You're grand, I say.
You're swell. Just swell.
You're all of them.
Yeah. All right, that's our show for today. Sorry that we got.
I just love when I say something and you go, "Yup." Okay.
Yep. All right.
Great. On that note,
I've processed it, and we're moving on.
Yes, and you know what? That is
showbiz,
kid.